Self-care did not fix my burnout when I was in nursing. I experimented with everything. I worked out. I even got into meditation. And most days I still felt drained, exhausted, and irritated. You can ask my ex-boyfriend. He said to me one day, you meditate, you do yoga, you do all of these things, and yet you're still mean, you're still miserable. No amount of self-care was going to fix the misalignment that I felt with nursing. They sold you self-care Sundays so that you would settle for survival mode for the other 6 days. And most of us fell for it. I did too. I'm going to tell you something that nobody's going to tell you. While I'm a self-care advocate, there is only so much that self-care can do. It has its limits when you're constantly pouring into something that's draining you. I'm absolutely pro self-care. Like I'm a self-care girl, always promote it, because self-care literally changed my life. But it didn't change my life until I stopped trying to use it to cope with a career that I no longer wanted to be in. And when I started using it to build a life that actually fit me and where I wanted to go, that I felt aligned with. So by the end of this video, you'll understand why no matter how much self-care you try to do, it's just not fixing your burnout. You're still exhausted, you're still irritable, you're still drained. And if you're new here, my name is Mel. I left nursing 5 years ago and I absolutely don't regret it. Now I help other nurses do the same. I was on my computer today. I found a paper that I wrote back in 2017 where I literally wrote about self-care as a nurse and trying different self-care practices to see if that will help me feel better. This is when I first about 2 years into me being a nurse, I realized that all of the self-care goals that I had, I'm doing all of those and more today. And I have been for years now. But they just didn't hit the same back then because I was trying to feel better inside of a career that no longer fit me anymore. When I was applying my self-care techniques back when I was a nurse, it was difficult. And in spite of like all the things that I was doing, the people around me still noticed that I was carrying like this anger and this resentment, pain and exhaustion and irritability within me. And that's because I was constantly showing up, clocking into work as a nurse when deep down I felt that I wasn't meant to be there. I felt that that wasn't the best fit for me. People make the mistake of thinking that burnout is only related to how much you're working or if you're working too much. But burnout actually is a strong indicator that the way that you're working, the way that you're living, the way that you're showing up in your everyday life is not in alignment. So if you're doing all of the quote unquote right things, you're doing the self-care, you're taking your walks, you're working out, you're doing these things, but you're still finding that you're exhausted, irritable, drained, stressed, most days, it's not that there's anything wrong with your self-care routine or that you're not doing enough self-care. It might be where you're trying to apply the self-care. You're trying to apply your self-care routine to a career that is literally built on burnout. So that means no matter how much you pour into yourself, no matter how much you try, it'll feel like it's never enough. Before you know it, you got to pour right out of your cup, and your cup gets depleted faster than you can refill it. Real self-care isn't just a routine that you do on Sundays. There's some checklists that you check off. It's actually a lifestyle. It's how you show up every day. It's saying no to things before you feel tired, before you get exhausted, before you get burned out. It's setting boundaries even when it's uncomfortable. And it's building a life that you don't feel the need to have to escape from every weekend, that you don't dread waking up to. Self-care was never meant to help you stay inside of a profession that you know is no longer serving you, that's breaking you. I'm not telling you not to do self-care while you're practicing in nursing right now, but if you do notice that you have been doing the self-care, but you still feel unfulfilled, you still dread most of your days, you still feel unhappy, then there is a deeper cause. So for some nurses, that means really being honest with yourself about the fact that nursing no longer fits the type of lifestyle that you want to live. That's what I had to do. Even in all the specialties that I tried, I still kept hitting burnout. That signals that something is off. I had to be honest about how I no longer wanted to wake up feeling dread, how I no longer wanted to dread what it was that I did for work, how I no longer wanted to be irritated and stressed all the time. I no longer wanted to feel the pressure and all the things that came with that role. I wanted to feel free, to have more freedom with my time. I wanted to have more energy in my body. I wanted to just be able to feel happy and to be able to feel like I was actually in control of my life. Once I finally admitted that it was time for me to walk away, that is when I was able to really, really, really anchor my self-care as a lifestyle and really allow it to just change who I was from the inside out. And of course, I still feel irritated sometimes. I still get stressed because we're human. We're going to like those things come and go. But those things no longer consume me. Those things get felt and then they pass. But before, as a nurse, I kept getting stuck in those feelings. And when I came out for a little bit of air, right back to the dread, right back to the exhaustion, right back to feeling drained, because it was time for me to make a change and do something else. So that might be the case for you too. I really invite you to reflect on where you stand with your nursing career. Have you outgrown your nursing career? I know these questions are tough to face, to acknowledge, and to really sit with and ask ourselves, but these are the questions that are necessary in order for you to really make changes that will change your life for the better, in ways that will give you more energy, more time, more freedom, and more peace. That's exactly what it was for one nurse who has been watching my videos for a couple of months. And when she first started watching my videos, she was burned out, exhausted, stressed. She had no energy. After watching my videos, she found the support and the inspiration to actually walk away from nursing. And now she has more energy. She doesn't feel drained when she gets off work because she's no longer working as a nurse. Her husband said he's happy to have his wife back. And she said that she wouldn't have believed that this was possible for her. So on the other side of those tough conversations those tough reflections that we have to have with ourselves is a whole new life that you can't even imagine right now. For me, I would have never guessed or imagined that I would be feeling how I feel every day when I wake up, feeling at peace, smiling, feeling grateful when I wake up in the morning. That's a big difference between how I feel now and how I used to feel as a nurse, even when applying my self-care practices. So if you feel like self-care just ain't cutting it, you're questioning your nursing career. You're questioning if it's still the right thing for you. I know what it's like to be in that space, to be in the constant back and forth, the constant mental exhaustion of not knowing whether you should stay in nursing, whether you should leave nursing, whether you should try something else. So if you're ready to get some real clarity around that, around your decision, and you're ready to really face how you're showing up in determining if that's really something that you want to continue, I actually created a masterclass linked down in the description. You'll walk away with the clarity you need. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, because we have these conversations that need to be had that people aren't talking about when it comes to being a nurse and questioning your career and wanting to leave nursing. And if you know a nurse who is going through those things as well, definitely be sure to share this video, share this channel with her so that she can have the support as she goes through this process as well as you. So you don't need to do more or better self-care as a burnt out nurse, despite what you're hearing and what they're telling you, because there's a deeper cause to your burnout. And some things can't be fixed with self-care alone. So for some nurses, they might be able to stay in the nursing profession. But for some nurses, like me, and possibly you, self-care just is not enough, because self-care won't fix misalignment. Nobody talks about the fact that we outgrow careers. So many people are trying to force it and trying to make themselves fit into these boxes and make themselves stay in a career because we're taught to stay. We're taught to tough it out, to struggle. But sometimes you just have to say enough is enough. And on the other side of you saying that is a totally different life, a totally different version of yourself, a version of you who's energized and excited and happy to live. And I really want that for you.